بحب مصر جدا وفي رأيي مصر أم الدنيا.
From surreal waters, golden sand beaches, remarkable architecture, and impeccable humor, Egypt is the dream destination for every foreigner. Around 3.7 million foreigners visit Egypt each year. Some fall absolutely in love with it, never wanting to leave, so they end up calling it their home by living here. Egypt is the perfect home to anyone looking for an exciting and friendly community. If there's one thing Egyptians are known for, it would be their hospitality. That is why our goal was to meet up with 2 female foreigners to ask them the reason behind their deep love for Egypt. Today, we met up with our first foreigner, Kat Abdeen, who is a preschool teacher at Capital School, to ask her a little bit about her life in Egypt. Kat is a well-known TikToker who makes videos on Egyptians and their humor. She's half South African and half Greek. She chose to live in Egypt instead of South Africa after moving from Dubai with her Egyptian husband and her 2 kids.
So my name's Kat Abdeen. I am a teacher. I'm an FS1 teacher. I'm half South African, half Greek. My mom's side of the family is South African. My father's side of the family is Greek, but I was born and raised in Durban in South Africa. I've lived in Dubai for 8 years before that, and I've been living now in Egypt for 2 years. Good job.
A little bit about what it's like living in Egypt, being a teacher here, your struggles, any barriers.
For me, I think the biggest struggle initially was obviously the language barrier. It was huge for me. I came in with very minimal Arabic, but I feel like I've learned more Arabic now being here in Egypt for 2 years. Here in Egypt, you sort of have to know at least the basics, you know, just to ask for things in the shop. I've learned, you know, sort of basic conversation. I can sort of understand now what you're talking about, not word for word, but that's been a really, really good help for me as well.
Are you married and do you have kids?
Yes, I am married. Been happily married now. Again, sorry. Happily. So I've been happily married now for 10 years to my husband. My husband is Egyptian. And I've got 2 boys, Adam, who is 9, and Alex, who is 5.
And what made you exactly move here?
So my husband is Egyptian, like I said earlier, and when we were in Dubai, anybody that knows really, Dubai is not necessarily a long-term solution, especially because when we had kids, we wanted something a little bit more closer to home, so it was a decision for us after 8 years between going back to South Africa or coming to Egypt.
And what is the best and worst part of living in Egypt?
Okay, we'll start with the best. So the best parts for me, 3 things. The people are incredible. The humor, like Egyptian humor is second to none. I love Egyptian humor. The hospitality of Egyptians as well. Like they are so warm and welcoming. And I love that everything is done through food. Like just feed me and make me happy and khalas, like I'm a very happy person. For me, the biggest struggle that I had to personally come to terms with was seeing all the dogs in the streets. For me, that was just a very personal thing. I felt really like heart sore. I wanted to help them. I didn't know how to help them.
We also wanted to meet her infamous best friend, Nahla, who helps her during classes and also joins her TikToks, where Nahla teaches Kat some Arabic words.
My name is Kat.
My name is Nahla.
And we've been teaching here. I've been teaching for 7 years. This is my 2nd year in Egypt.
And this is my 2nd year.
Teaching.
Yeah.
How long have you guys known each other and where did you guys meet?
Yeah, Lavina.
Go there, Kat.
I always do that. So I came to Egypt just after Corona hit, and then I started working in a school, and Nahla was my first co-teacher.
It's my first time for me to even work.
Ever.
Yeah.
So was it good that it was with me?
Yeah.
What was the first impression of her, especially as a foreigner who came to live in Egypt?
For me in the beginning, the very, very beginning, يعني she's a bit firm. I'm just like afraid even to talk as she's sitting on the laptop and she's just like doing work and just like, okay, I'm gonna sit here.
So do you feel like Kat struggles a lot or she gets along with her job here as a teacher and life in Egypt in general?
I think in general about the language. Like each and every time, like maybe she's with Uber and he wants to talk and she can't understand, like خلاص. So wait, Nahla, hello? Now even if I'm sleeping, Nahla, please wake up for now. That's just a second, okay, Kat, what do you want? Like it's exactly like about this, about the language and
I've learned a lot of like the way that you deal, especially with Egyptian children and stuff like that. Like a little bit more, you know, yani, malish, the concept of malish, you taught me malish.
شكرا, ما شاء الله. Alhamdulillah. Astaghfirullah.
Astaghfirullah, so important.
حسبي الله.
And I won't lie, like, honestly, as much as Nahla has been there for me personally and professionally, like we've been through a lot together, personally and professionally. This is why I think like, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, just alhamdulillah for everything.
Kat kindly allowed us into her home to get to know her daily routine, interview her husband, and get to know the family. So Kat and I buckled up and we were on our way to head to her house.
What does your daily routine look like?
So my weeks are pretty basic. I'm not a morning person at all, so I have to wake up like by force, make sure I have my coffee, because teachers gotta have coffee. The more coffee, the better. And then I go to school, and you know, every day at school is a completely different routine. Sometimes the kids are completely hyper and full of energy, and other times they're a lot more calm. Get home in the afternoon, and then I start my mom duties. Those never end. So it's homework with the boys, doing projects, and also just making sure that there's a little bit of fun every day, either playing football outside with them or playing Xbox for a bit.
Since you're an influencer in Egypt, where did you first get your idea of making TikToks about Egyptians, and how did it become successful?
I think it's got something to do with how Egyptian humor is just perceived. It's so natural. It's so, you know, like I love Egyptian humor, and I feel like we have sort of the same kind of humor. And I've been so blessed in the way that my content has been taken in a positive way, like by Egyptians. Because in the one breath, yes, I want to make content about Egypt and Egyptians and, you know, the funny things that I perceive as a foreigner. But in the other way, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Cross-cultural marriage is such a controversial topic. That is why we decided to hear from Kat and Tariq's experience.
How did you meet your husband, and what were the challenges and barriers that you guys went through?
So we met while working in Atlantis in Dubai, and fun fact, he was my manager at the time, and I was attracted to his charm and his masculinity and his Egyptian accent. What about you? What do you think about challenges? What challenge?
No, it's the cultural differences. It was a huge challenge in the beginning. The other challenge was understanding the different type of Egyptian men. Because,
Egyptian men?
Yeah, in general, because you know, like we usually don't allow our ladies to wear cut and expose some of her body and things like that. And for her, she was like, really? I shouldn't wear this one?
No, like
Or
strap
short,
tops, like a normal
really?
strap top.
How did you guys end up adapting to each other's language?
It took a long time. No, it took a long time.
It took a
don't
very...
open your mouth.
لا لا لا
no,
استنى
it
شوية.
took a long
أنا
time.
بتكلم عربي شوية شوية كل يوم شوية شوية.
Okay.
كويس جدا. Like Egypt has pushed me more to try and learn at least basic conversational Arabic.
And do a lot of people comment on your cross-cultural marriage?
What about for you? Because yes, for me, yes, definitely.
For me, not really. No.
We're not done yet. We went to another journey to find out our next foreigner and interview her. We met up with our second foreigner of the day, Gina, a passionate lover of this country and an American student at the AUC who's studying for her master's. Gina loves to travel all around Egypt. She ended up at an engagement party of one of my friends, and that's how our friendship begun. So Gina, we were actually friends, and I met her in an engagement party. Yes. What was your first impression of me? Right now, tell me.
No, I thought you were super cool. I was super relieved because I didn't know anyone at the engagement. So there was someone my age and someone also you didn't you didn't know anyone else. So I was like, alhamdulillah, okay. She'll be with me for the night. I won't have to awkwardly stare at my phone. Okay.
We were actually dancing to songs and stuff like that, and she was like, I was so surprised because she was actually singing to Arabic songs and I didn't know the lyrics and she did. So it was really cool to kind of see, like, you know, like kind of you jamming to Arabic songs and you're like, wait, she knows the lyrics.
في قلبي أنا مصرية. Like بجد أنا بحب مصر قوي قوي قوي. هي الدنيا.
Now we wanted to know Gina's personal point of view as a foreigner in Egypt.
I'm Gina. I'm from the United States originally.
and I go to AUC, and I live in Egypt, and I like learning Arabic.
And why did you choose Egypt?
I don't know, I'm really obsessed with Egypt for some reason. I had like a lot of friends in undergrad in the US from Egypt, and I just fell in love with the culture and the language, so I just wanted to try living here.
And what do you love most about here, and what do you hate the most about here?
I love the vibes here a lot. There's like a lot of people are super nice and warm and welcoming. I guess something that is a bit is the traffic. Sometimes it can be a bit hectic, a bit scary.
And what do you think as a foreigner is your biggest challenge here in Egypt?
It's like a language barrier just because I don't know these words in Arabic.
Okay.
And I can't like, sometimes it's muffly and everything when they're speaking.
And would you advise other students like yourself to actually come study here in Egypt?
Yeah, I would. I think it's a very, very nice place. I just think you need to like do your research and everything before coming. As I know for some people it could be a very big culture shock. For me it wasn't so much because I had already assimilated in the US kind of. And I would just recommend that they try to learn some Arabic as well, but it's an amazing experience, so for sure.
You know, you travel a lot. Where exactly do you like to travel with your friends or hang out in general?
In Egypt, I mean, I went to the White Desert, and it was like one of my favorite places ever. In Cairo, I really love going to Zamalek, and like the areas near Zamalek, it's like the vibes are immaculate, like French kiss, and like, yeah, I mean just the Zamalek area in general. And then I also like to go to like touristy and like historic sites with some of my friends.
Okay, so I know that you have a new TikTok platform. Talk a little bit about your platform and who's your audience.
Yeah, so I like just a couple weeks ago I started a TikTok, just kind of sharing like my life experiences here in Egypt and my experiences learning Arabic and everything. And I don't know, I like making people like laugh and trying to be funny and stuff, so just doing stuff like that.
Can you speak Arabic? And if yes, what are the words that do you know?
أيوة يعني أنا ممكن أتكلم عربي يعني I don't know, I mean I can say a lot of words. I mean I can have conversations يعني ممكن أتكلم مع الناس وكده في مصر وكده بس يعني ساعات ما أعرفش كل الكلمات وعبارات وكده بس يعني أنا فاهمة وكده.
Now that we finished getting to know Gina, we asked her friends a little bit about her struggles in Egypt and how she copes here.
Hi, my name is Renee. I met Gina about 1 or 2 months ago on a White Desert trip. So my first impressions of Gina, actually I thought she was Egyptian at first because she was sitting with Egyptians and her Arabic seemed very good to me. So I was quite surprised when I found out that she was actually American, and in general that as an American she had so much knowledge about different cultures. But probably what she still struggles with most is still the Arabic language because it's just very difficult.
So I actually met Gina when I moved to the US for college, and my sister, she used to work with my sister, and they hit it off and they became friends. And then I eventually came and my sister introduced me to her friends, and I met Gina, and I was so intrigued by the fact that Gina's not an Egyptian and she's not Arab, and she's so invested in the Egyptian culture and the fact that she was learning Arabic. What I think about Gina being a foreigner in Egypt, I think that it's amazing. We need a lot of people to be more invested and more interested in our culture, because people tend to have this image of our culture that's not really true or not really valid. So we need more people like that, more open to learning and more open-minded people. For any struggles, I don't think there are any struggles that Gina goes through. Maybe just the fact that she's not an Arab, so like she's learning it and she wasn't born with it. So maybe just communication, little things, but I don't think there's really any struggle for Gina. She's really, really invested. The fact that she moved from America to Egypt just because of how much she loved it is amazing to me.
Sadly, our documentary is coming to an end. We had so much fun making it with one of the 2 most passionate foreigners we've met in this country. They share so much love and so much curiosity towards learning about Egyptian culture, and their determination to be part of the Egyptian community by learning the second hardest language in the world, Arabic, was mind-blowing to watch. We truly hope that Egypt leaves as big of a mark on every foreigner that comes to visit Egypt, just as much as Kat and Gina.
أنا بحب مصر.
أول يوم العيد عيدية